It will. Hello, welcome to the Shuttlecast. My name is Sal.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sal. And welcome to the Shuttlecast.
Yeah.
Some housekeeping. We fired Joe.
Yeah.
He was getting too important, and we don't want that kind of heat. So
he was getting a little Jim Bro on us.
Yeah.
And we were like, all
right, man. You know, get out of here. All right, with that shit. So Joe is gonna be here intermittently when he can. He's focusing on his acting and writing pursuits. Bless his heart. I am too, but that's also my job, so it's like I can afford to be here when I'm done, when I'm off the clock.
See, I'm not, so I'm free as a bird.
I got you, baby. If so, originally when we were reviving the Shuttlecast, I said just the two of us.
That's true.
Because I figured Joe would be too busy.
Yeah.
And then I was right.
It's an interesting trend, where it's like, all right, we're going to try to preemptively accommodate his schedule and not put more on his plate. And then he's like, no, I want to be a part of it. And then lo and behold, his eyes are a little bigger than his stomach.
But hey, I appreciated it for the time we had him. He'll be a fun special guest. On other housekeeping, we probably won't have a weekly episode for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Unless Joe magically decides to come back. Nathan, what will you be doing if you want to tell anybody?
I'm getting married this weekend, August 3rd, and then I'm flying out to Cancun on Monday until Tuesday, the 13th, from the 5th to the 13th. So I'm out of here.
He's out, and I can't do it solo. So unless Grace wants to make some special guests, or if Joe wants to find some time, it's just gonna have no weeklies, and that's okay because it's just for fun.
That's right. Although it was so weird because this is the thing with Joe whenever he announces plans is they always seem to kind of change up on the fly, because originally he made his announcement, as he does, that he wouldn't be doing it anymore, he's too busy, and then I feel like a couple days later he was like yeah, I might not be able to do it weekly, but I'll still come in, and I'm like oh okay, so are you gonna miss every other one? It's very odd. Yeah. I don't think he knows.
And he's editing an episode. He's editing a video.
And he's editing an episode. It's true.
So am I. Joe and I both have a special episode we're editing. So
from the vault.
From the vault. And the vault is, oh my god, it's vast. It's a big boy.
I was very surprised,
the things that were coming out.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what gets lost in the shuffle.
Stuff that I've forgotten about. I'm like, oh yeah,
stuff that I've forgotten about. Yeah,
we recorded that. That's right.
See, I was just reminded from our what would we call it? The classic run with our Dragonheart episode, where Joe was talking about how he has a folder of untitled forgotten fantasy films, and I'm like, I hope he still has that. I think he said he did. Recently. So,
and it's even more cursed because it's been years, so now they're really forgotten. Now there's no way to know what they are, which is kind of how you should do it.
He might have been able to guess,
But now it's like it's been 4 years. Who knows what the fuck that is? I know. Aren't 3 of them the 3 different Herculeses that came out the same year?
I think so.
Open up my notepad.
I don't know if he said those were in that folder or if he also had those, but I think he said those were in the folder, which is scary.
It's horrifying. But and oddly enough, our Dragonheart video is, I think, the best one since our return.
Dude, people love Dragonheart. I need to rewatch them now. I need to
rewatch them. No, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to convince my husband to rewatch them, or I guess maybe he has never seen them.
I want
to talk about Dragonheart actually, because since the podcast, since I had to do a little editing on it, and then it's now it came out. I've been thinking. I'm like, man, I know. So Dragonheart stars Dennis Quaid.
Yes.
Who birthed a son.
He did.
Named Jack Quaid, who's Huey and the Boys. He's also in Scream 5, which is I think I'm safe to say has become actually my favorite Scream movie. Maybe 1 and 5. It's weird. 5. I initially was kind of like, I don't know about Scream 5, but now I'm like, man, Scream 5 is like kind of a work of art. Even though they do my boy Kyle Gallner real dirty, I still love it.
Oh man,
he's in like a scene or two, and I'm like, he's so much more than this. Then he chews it up and smiles, so it's okay.
That's good.
But
and he's also Superman and My Adventures with Superman.
Jack Quaid,
is Jack Quaid. Yeah.
Yes. Not Kyle Gallner though. He could easily, but he's like the Scream King. I think he is in like a bunch of horror movies. I think he has one coming out this year, like a theater one. He's in a lot of streaming ones, where like they're kind of low budget, but then he's like, I'm gonna act my fucking ass off, and it's like, Kyle, you don't have to, but thank you.
like the people in the direct-to-video Dragonhearts. Apparently, the thing is, I don't remember. I remember fuck all about any of the Dragonheart movies, to be perfectly honest with you. So
it's vague. But do you think we could ever? We have these prequel 3 Dragonheart films, and I actually tweeted at the guy in charge of the Dragonheart movies. He has not responded.
Yeah.
Sad to say, he has not gotten back to me.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty rude.
A little bit.
Nah, I'm sure he does. I don't even think he has access to that Twitter account. I'll have to go check it out. I have to go find the tweet. But, there's these prequel Dragonheart films. Do you think we could ever hit a point where I know Jack Quaid does not get along with his father anymore?
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, Jack Quaid is a young man, and Dennis Quaid's an old man, and the politics are very different.
Oh, I see.
So make of that what you will.
Right.
We're not a political stream, so I'm not going to try to talk about politics.
I feel you.
In any manner whatsoever. But, I think a young, what's the guy? I don't even remember the character from Dragonheart, but Bowen, a young Bowen with Jack Quaid. Maybe. I don't know if he wants to do young roles of his father. It's not like Wyatt Russell, where they're like, best of friends.
Well, here's the thing, though, because the vague memory I have is that outside of the few scenes where he genuinely gave a shit, Dennis Quaid was like not great in that movie, mostly hammy. And from what we were saying and from what I vaguely remember of the prequels, the people who currently are in charge of the Dragonheart movies fucking love the world and put their best foot forward. So if they ever bite the bullet and try to remake the OG, you could get Jack Quaid in there trying to stun on his dad, where he's like, right. I'm gonna do this role better than you. And it's like, oh
yeah, you know what, that's a good point. I forget the plot of Dragonheart, but isn't it like Bowen is he killed all the dragons?
Yeah, except for Sean Connery. The last one. But then apparently Sean Connery also had eggs, as we find out in 2, with no reference in 1. But yeah, he what the fuck was that?
That was my my arm for my microphone. I was turning down the gain. It was a little high.
Oh shit.
I think it would squeak like a fucking whatever.
Yeah, I thought like a fucking hamster Terminator had broken into your apartment or some shit. I'm actually
covering for that, so don't talk about it too loud.
oh shit. Oh, you gotta Morse code some shit out.
I'm trapped.
Oh god.
Yeah, but Jack Quaid stunning on his dad would be pretty fucking awesome.
That would be pretty epic.
If he ever wanted to do a role that his father wants it. He probably doesn't. He probably wants to be completely divorced from it, which I would also accept, but
it's fair, but he looks so much like him. It's like,
I know.
and he does and he doesn't. Obviously,
yeah, he's a taller, lankier, dorkier Jack Quaid, but it's in there.
Yeah.
That's why a prequel where it's like he's young.
It's so whenever I think about how they look similar, the picture of Jack Quaid I always have is in The Boys season 1 when he first meets Starlight and he's eating, because that's when he like really looks like his dad. He's got like food stuffed in his cheek, and it's like, oh my god, it's Dennis.
That's awesome. Yeah, he really does. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about. Do you want to jump into movies or audio stuff? Should we knock out audio real quick?
Yeah. Let's do it. I think.
Did you listen?
I did. I have some things to discuss about it, and the verse as a whole.
So we both are. I'd say I would argue. I would stretch the word fans. Or at least appreciators, cheerleaders for Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon series, universe, franchise. Which comes out, oddly enough, so we wanted to do a review of it, but of course you're getting married, asshole. So
I know.
We'll have to wait till later in the month, which will be good because I'll probably watch it and then have to sit on it and think about it and really really take it in.
Exactly. Maybe watch it a couple times.
I don't want to rush it. I think with this, I really want to because Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2 got such a bad rap. Sometimes deservedly so, but also sometimes undeservedly so, in my opinion. I think there are criticisms to be had. I was on the Reddit and I was saying how good Rebel Moon is. Someone was like, even the backstory scene, and I was like, no, that's not a good scene. Just because I like the movie doesn't mean I like every single part of the movie. I'd say there's almost no movies that I'm like, yes, every scene I will defend. Like, even in stuff I love. It's like, there's a scene or two where it's like, or that could have been done like a bit better. But so while I am a Rebel Moon defender, there's some stuff I can't defend, and that'd be foolish of me to do so. With these director's cuts, they're very anticipated because part 1 and 2 was so poorly received that this is sort of like the make it or break it, I think, for the franchise. I think that they're very positive and hopeful that it'll do well, and I think that it is doing well technically because of all the hate watching. Yeah. Which is funny because I see people posting stuff like, oh, I have to watch this again, and I'm like, bro, if you don't like it, don't watch it. But also, please watch it so you could be mad about it and give us a view.
Well, and I feel kind of bad because, I do want to watch it right when it comes out so that the analytics look good for Netflix and they, keep it alive. But also, I'm getting married. I don't have time.
But poor planning on Netflix that one of the 5 fans in the world, they had to have this come out on their wedding day. It's kind of fucked up.
I know it was poor planning on their end.
They should have looked at all 5 of us and said, any big plans they have in their lives coming up that we should maybe avoid so we can release our movie?
It's fine. Once I'm in Mexico, I think our hotel has Netflix. I'll pop it on when Katie passes out. So it looks like they're drawing the international market, and I'll be doing my part.
You are. Sorry, I'm snacking because I didn't think we'd be doing a podcast today. So I was actually streaming for the past 2 hours.
Oh my god.
And then I finished my stream and I'm like, de-headphoning, taking down the lights, and I open up Discord and you're like, I'm good to go at 5, and it was like 4:50 and I'm like, I have to do the dishes. Shit.
Oh man. I think I did tell you sometime last week, I was like, I probably won't be able to, but then I was like, God, I got time.
Yeah, you did. I think you did. So that's why I asked, and Joe said, and I was like, we're probably not going to do this.
I know. I'm still expecting him to pop in, to be all theatrical about it, but I think he's really gone.
That's why I'm kind of delaying the big talk of today.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel that's okay. I have stuff to expand on with subject number 1. So
yeah, me too. But
so
you want to talk about what the Seneschal is?
Yeah, so the Seneschal is the Seneschal, A Rebel Moon Story by Zack Snyder.
Thank God it's been retitled.
Yeah, let me.
I was so annoyed when it was just Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon or Zack Snyder's The Seneschal. I was like, come on, man.
I know they still sneak his name in there, but at least it's at the end. But it's a quote unquote podcast. Fuck you, it's an audio drama.
Audio drama.
That is a prequel set 500 years before the original Rebel Moon films, and it is about the creation of the Jimmies, which I wish they used their technical name, because Jimmy's is a little silly, but also, even though I just rewatched
JC's?
I can't. They have they have some long-winded name that I remember them saying in the first movie, but I didn't retain the information again. So I understand why they're saying Jimmy's, but
it's a Jimmy. That one fucking soldier in part 1. We got a Jimmy.
The soldiers are very interesting.
all the New Zealand soldiers.
Yeah, they left behind the New Zealand platoon to oversee shit. And then all the British soldiers were just like, we're staying on the dreadnought.
All right, anyone who worked on Xena or Lord of the Rings, stay behind on this planet. Thank you. I'll be taking all the British people with me to space.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Jimmies.
The Jimmies. But yeah, so it's going to be, I think it's 6 episodes?
Unfortunately, 6 episodes, yes.
Yeah, which I think in my head, I think because I'm used to miniseries, I was like, oh, it's going to be like 8 episodes. They're each like 40-ish minutes. But no, it looks like it's going to be more like 6 at about 22. So,
yeah, so like 2 hours probably total, unless the last episode goes crazy.
Yeah, so it's it is what it is. And
it has a cool cast too. It has a so the main character is voiced by Ella Purnell, who's in the Fallout show. She's also apparently in Army of the Dead. I did not know. I
only watched it once and didn't retain much.
I think when I watched Army of the Dead, Ella Purnell was not an actress I was like familiar with, and then after Fallout, I am now retroactively like, oh, she's in a lot of things.
It's so funny to experience that.
Yeah. So that means technically Ella Purnell plays 2 characters in the in the universe.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yep.
I can't wait for that bridge. Listen, if the Rebel Moon IP collapses before it can bridge with the Army of the Dead, that's kind of okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. Army of the Dead is getting an animated series. It's a prequel, and Ella Purnell's in it.
Oh fuck! And it already got a prequel film that no one saw.
Yo, it's so funny. Like that was all right, hold on. Army of the Dead, add to the thumbnail. Army of the Dead. So yeah, Army of the Dead was a pretty okay movie, not Zack Snyder's best work. I'm not gonna lie. But no. Arguably the best character is Dieter, the like a locksmith guy. And I think, it's one of those things that you joke about when you're watching, like, oh man, this guy's so funny. I love a whole movie just about him. But then they did it, and I was like, no, I was joking. I do not want to watch that. I was kidding.
Because he's good in small doses.
Yes, like this is a compliment that I like him so much, but I definitely, no, Zach, don't do it, Zach.
I did not watch Army of the Dead in preparation for this. Although I have been working on, upping my Rebel Moon lore expertise. So
I should watch it. I should watch the Dieter prequel film and then watch the animated show when it comes out. Gosh, she's on the poster. Oh my Jesus, I don't remember this fucking character at all. But also, and then so it's Ella Purnell as Reyna, who's a mechanic who makes like sex robots, and her husband is Adwin, who's played by the guy who plays Dean in Harry Potter.
Oh yeah,
yes,
that's right.
That guy.
I forgot because I don't remember Dean speaking very much. So
No, I think he speaks more in this one episode than he does in the entirety of Harry Potter.
that sounds right.
So they're in it. It also has Jason Isaacs as the king, and then Naveen Andrews as Gregory. And Naveen Andrews is probably most known for Lost.
Oh,
remember Lost?
I'm actually watching Lost.
He's Saeed.
On and off. Oh, hey,
I love how you.
cool.
I love that your mic peaked for that because that is hype.
Yeah, that is hype.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. I remember watching Lost and liking him a lot.
He's not. He wasn't in this episode, was he?
He might have been in a little bit. Let me check.
I wasn't. I wasn't mentally listening for him. So.
Yeah, he's in the episode. I have to re-listen to it.
Yeah, same.
Oh my god, Tom Holkenborg did the music for the outro.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's from the movie.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Still cool though.
That hey.
So good voice cast.
They put effort into it. I feel like they could do more to advertise it, but it's weird because it's a podcast, audio drama, but those are I don't know how podcasts are hard to advertise. You know what I'm saying?
Do you advertise an audio drama? It's funny because I feel like audio dramas in this current society would do really well because everyone's so on the move. Either you're like on the way to work, or you're on the way to something, or you're doing something else, and so having an audio drama playing in the background. I mean, audio books are so popular.
Yeah.
I remember once I saw a trailer for an audio drama while watching, I think, Wrestling with You, and it was for Impact Winter. And I think we were both kind of, oh, what's this? And it was like, oh, an audio.
Oh, yeah. Very, very odd.
And I actually listened to the first season of it.
Oh.
It's all right.
Is that
all right?
Yeah.
The best part was Davos.
Naturally.
And then he leaves the show, so then it's not as good. Anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, advertising an audio drama is interesting. I only remember it came out the other day because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's the 29th. The Rebel Moon podcast comes out today. But if it wasn't for my desire for this, I probably would not have known.
I feel you.
I think we're the only podcast covering it.
It's probably because it's funny. I made it available offline. They say it's downloading, but it's not really. From Spotify this morning, and there were still no comments on it, which I don't know how plentiful the comment section of Spotify is, but
it's a new thing.
Okay.
They used to so Spotify is going through some changes. They used to have you could put up questions for your audience.
Oh.
And then very recently they switched to comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I added a comment. Let me see if it's been approved yet.
Oh yeah.
Because I did. I was like, I also saw no comments. I was like, I'll be the first one.
It's funny because before
I am the only comment. No, it's still in review. Damn it.
Oh, okay. So you might be the first comment.
I might be. It says in review, fucker.
I was trying to find a way to download the audio so that I could have it because I doubt they'll ever have a physical release.
No.
So, fuck me, I suppose.
Yeah. But yeah, so by the way, Naveen Andrews Gregory, he's the advisor to the king.
Okay.
The meat guy that Jason Isaacs yells at the whole episode.
Oh, so very different from Saeed.
Yes.
That makes that now I understand.
But the plot, what happens?
So what's her Stephanie Purnell?
Ella Purnell. Here, let me help you out. Hold on. I got you.
I can't remember the character names except for King Alma.
I have the wiki open on my
Thank you.
You're welcome. I got you.
Let me pull that up.
Yes,
I swear I do actually know this. I just don't know the.
No. Honestly, the thing about audio drama is that it takes me a few episodes to learn everyone's names.
Yeah.
Because in a show, I can see your face and assign your face, and then after a while I get your name. But in audio drama, I have like nothing to work with, which is why you have to say the characters' names a lot.
It's true.
It's a different kind of writing. You have to kind of be like, "Hey, Reina," all the time.
It's for sure. Also, it's great. The last episode of the series is called "A Prophecy Fulfilled," so hyped for that. But anyway, so Reina and Adwin are a married couple who create and design very high quality sex robots, and sell them to politicians and wealthy people, while they themselves live on kind of a shithole. And I think the governor of their planet, city, whatever, is like, hey, I can get you an audience with the king. Make something for him.
It's the Star Wars thing where basically it would be a city if it was in a fantasy setting, but since it's in space, it's a planet.
Yeah, it's very impressive that governors can govern just planets. They're
so small and insignificant.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's just a planet.
Yeah. So they go and for whatever reason of the two sex robots we see or here that they have made, they're both designed after Reina.
This set off a flag so fast. Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean,
yeah, this is cause for concern.
Because she seems uncomfortable with the idea, and he tries to be all like, "Oh, but you're the most beautiful thing I know," and it's like, but you're basically selling off your wife as a sex bot to every fucking rich person in the galaxy.
Yeah, but it's fine because it's his wife, but better. Oh shit!
That's why he made it.
Oops.
Where do these poor people get the materials to make a realistic? Never mind.
Details. But they, so they go to Moa, which is the homeworld of the Mother World. I know this because I've been trying to learn things about Rebel Moon. Where they come to the sex den of King Ulmer, who's like, I'm so fucking bored. I want to see. If you're not gonna orgasm in front of me, then I'm gonna feed you to my pigs. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
Like, hey, this guy sucks. Did you know that?
Yeah, really. And so they come, bring a very high end robot, and and
they're doing this because the planet they're from, Saldaron, they were late on their shipment of mine or whatever, so like the king, like, I think they sold the governor's like daughter or cousin or nephew into like slavery or something. Yeah. So this is like the governor trying to be like, hey, please don't do any other bad things, I'm so sorry. Have our finest sex bot, my liege.
Yeah. And it can like ostensibly read his mind, something like that. It's a little bit of magic.
They kept saying stuff like, she knows what you want before you say it. Stuff like that. It's like very, very, very intelligent, and they don't really go into like how this works, and I doubt they ever will. You just gotta accept, I guess, that they can do this.
Yeah, I wish I got a bit more. If that's going to be a plot point, or if it's just the gimme,
It feels like the gimme, but like it's also the plot of the story.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna tell a story about the creation of the Jimmies, I want to know how the fuck a Jimmy becomes a Jimmy.
Yeah. So.
But this, like, they haven't gone into it. They don't explain how. Just that Adwin is a master craftsman. Yeah. And that's sort of it.
Yeah, it's weird, but they give him the sex bot. He's like, hey, this is great. I want to fuck the robot and you. And it's really weird because he like invites Adwin to also be involved, and he's like, I'll just watch. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so basically the king is like, hey, this sex bot, perfect. But I want to compare her to your wife. And it's like, God damn it, why'd you have to fucking model the sex bot after your fucking wife, you idiot?
Yeah.
So then, like, King Ulmer's like, yeah, anyway, meet me in my other sex pit. And then Rhaena's like, hey, we should just go. And Adwin's like, no, we can't. Like, this is the king, and like, we get so much money, and it'd be so cool, and like, it's just one night, you know. It's like, whatever. It's like, it's okay. And she's like, I guess I trust you, because like, you're my husband or whatever. And then the king basically then goes and like, basically, you know, like, rapes Rhaena through, like, you know, like the guise of like, hey, either fuck me or like, I'm the evil king and I'll kill you. Which really doesn't leave a lot of chance for choice. And so, like, you know, so like, we're starting off our story with like with this villain, and we've already established him to be very evil. Like, he feeds someone to the pigs. He's this fucking narcissist. He's an asshole. They do a lot to establish how evil he is, and then they give him the next step of he rapes the main character. And this has the chance to be handled either fine or very poorly. It's too early to say.
Yeah, so let me, because I've been thinking about this today, because I listened to this on my morning commute. I was thinking about listening to it on my commute back after work, but I decided to just mull over it a little bit more. And you know, this is also coming off of having rewatched the first two movies theatrical, and I feel like I'm kind of at a cusp here with the Rebel Moon universe, where I really don't like how sex is portrayed in the universe, and I'm kind of waiting to see if there's more to it or if it's just shock value, because like watching the first movie, you know, you have like the soldiers who are, you know, a full-on rape platoon, and you know, you have like the random thugs in the bar that also becomes a rape platoon, and you have Admiral Noble that's like, hey, I just finished taking a hit from my spleen bong and now I'm gonna go in my tentacle sex pit. And it's like, what the fuck is all of this going on? And then we have this story, which is probably the most like crass and upfront about it, and I was kind of trying to mull it over,
because by the way, the audio drama opens with like hardcore moaning.
Yes.
And like, thank God I listened to it by myself. But Jesus.
Yes. Yeah, it was a lot. And they warn you. They're like, hey, graphic depictions of sex and violence. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Oh God, you weren't kidding. Yeah.
Like 2 seconds later. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was kind of thinking about it. And the other day I read through, apparently Netflix designed like a basically long interactive article for like Rebel Moon lore when the first part came out. I read through it yesterday.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll link it to you later. But obviously most of this information is in the movie. It just stuck in my mind more because I was reading it. But I was thinking about it, and the thing with Rebel Moon is so Carrie Elway's the Slain King is
rest in peace.
The last. Yeah, rest in peace. He was great. But he's the last in a line of 1,886 kings, which is fucking crazy. I don't think anyone on our planet has a regular lineage that goes back that far.
Yeah,
I don't think. I'm not an expert, but. And the thing that I think their little article said is that all of them were like, the Mother World has always been very warlike and very, you know, aggressive. And at first it was expanding, and then it, you know, was focused on just domination of the sections it had. So I started thinking, is this trying to take like a Game of Thrones approach where it is, you know, deliberately having gratuitous sex and violence juxtapositioned as like the you know, two two of the most cathartic elements of life. And I feel like with this story, this is kind of where I feel like for me, it felt like, oh, this is kind of what happens when you have a very long line of kings where like the very best of them is like maybe Robert Baratheon type, where it's like, you're not an outright prick, but you're still more interested in like fucking spilling brains or, you know, hunting whores and fucking boars, you know? And it's like, and the reason, and I guess it's funny, it never really clicked for me. I think I kind of dissociated because it was a stereotypical thing, but the reason that Belisarius turned on the slain king was because he was listening to his daughter, Princess Issa, who was trying to change the Imperium and make it less violent, make it more benevolent. And so I was kind of like, is it coming to this point where it's trying to portray that the Imperium is like so off track, is so like in the wrong that it is perverting sex in, you know, such a way where Jason Isaacs has sex dungeons and, you know, is so horrifically violent that, you know, that it like needs to change. Like I genuinely don't know if actual thought is being put into this or if it's just, you know, hedgy the edgy. I like people fucking, you know. So that was kind of my.
And I agree with all of that. I think that what's going to happen in this audio drama, hopefully, is like through however they handle the characters of Rhaena and King Almer will sort of show how they feel about this, or at least how these writers are interpreting this. Because I know Zack Snyder didn't write this.
Sure.
I think he probably had a hand in it.
Oh yeah.
But
it feels very deliberate that we're starting this story that has been advertised as the Jimmies, which we have seen are like the ultimate fighting robot that develops a honor, and we're starting it with, well, here's sex robots, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, it feels like an interesting like subversion, and start to what will become like essentially like the clone army.
Yeah,
like the big like the Confederate army or whatever, like, you know, the Cylons essentially.
Yeah, of
like these like kind of like intelligent but super powerful and super almost religious. Like they kind of become like almost like robot Templars.
Yeah.
Before sure. Princess Issa gets quote unquote assassinated. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who's to say? So it's interesting that their start is sex bots from a greasy mine planet.
Yeah. And
then there's females? I mean, because they're sex bots.
Yeah. It's interesting. Apparently, this is from the Wedge page. Apparently, they originally just designed 12, but then later on, there's like thousands.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if this is going to stick with that. I hope that they remember their own lore, but we'll see.
Apparently, some of the writers on this are writers on the House of the Blood Axe comic we have neither read.
True.
Because it is only in individual issues, and fuck that.
Yeah.
I have the
next month, baby.
Yep, I have the trade. It's on order. It's pre-ordered, so it'll be here on the 20th, hopefully. And I'll read the fuck out of it. But yeah, the episode goes and King Almer basically fucks the sex bot and rapes Rhaena. Adwin's like, it's fine, but I'll just watch, I guess, and I'll be here. And then it ends with a Jimmy named Bartholomew reading a poem. As a little end cap. Interesting first start.
That's how it started too.
Yeah, I wish they were longer episodes.
Yes,
20 minutes feels kind of short. And I hope that at least the last one or two are longer. But
hopefully,
it's an interesting start. How they handle the rape will probably inform how good the show is. Because it is gratuitous. It's not that I'm against sex, because I'm not against sex. It's just like it was like the majority of the episode, and it felt like it was just there to be there, and I kind of want to see where they handle it.
Yeah, because obviously there's that little conservative Christian boy that I was raised to be, but even without, I feel like as an audience member, you got to be like wined and dined a little bit. Like I feel like sex and violence in movies needs to kind of be earned, because again, it's two of the most cathartic things that can happen in life. So like, like that's why, again, this is why I'm not sure of it, because even like when it's depicted well, like in Rebel Moon Part 2, like when fucking oh fuck, what are their fucking names? God, I'm terrible with names.
You just watched them.
I know, Korra and the dude. Fuck.
It's not Hunter. It's
not Hunter.
It's
fucking it's Gunner.
Why is it? So I'm on the wiki. You hover over characters, and it goes Korra, okay. Princess Issa, okay. Belisarius, okay. Jimmy, okay. Noble, all right. Kai.
Oops. But yeah, even like they're like when they realize that they love each other, I guess it's a little underdeveloped. It's there enough. It's not like they share a first kiss. It's like, no, we fucking, and it's like, okay, that's fine, but little quick, for me, I don't know.
Yeah, well, what's cool, what I think is cool is, what I think is actually interesting about Rebel Moon, how it handles sex, is that you have the, are they the Empire, the Imperium? What are they called?
I think it's the Imperium.
I guess it's called the Imperium.
Because it's not Star Wars.
It's not Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. So, and it's also not 40K.
Yes, precisely.
The Mother World.
The Mother World.
So the way all the Mother World characters view sex, it's very it's very violent. Yes. We have the Noble's tentacle dungeon. We have King Ulmer's sex dungeon. We're making sex bots for people. These fucking New Zealanders just want to rape people. And then you have the planet that they're on, that Korra's on, Arthaleus. Velt, is it called Velt?
Velt. That's
right. Oh
right.
my god, I didn't even look it up. I just knew it.
Well done.
What's interesting about Velt is that it's such a stark contrast to the Mother World, because everyone's about community and working together, and they celebrate and judge how bountiful the harvest is by like making love and not like just fucking. Like, no, it's about like merriment and love and happiness and like feeling good, as is like what they're all about. So it's such a stark like difference between how I guess every Mother World character has viewed sex, which is just like rape and take and give me, and it's angry and it's violent.
It's another form of domination.
So hopefully they're doing a thing with that.
I really want to believe it's more clever than it looks on the surface.
I want to believe they're doing something. I do. Please. We'll have to see how the tentacle face guys on that one planet view sex. The ones that were holding that were protecting the blood axes.
Yeah,
remember that guy?
Because they're all about honor and charity.
Yeah,
little
squiggly face guys
fucking everywhere.
Those guys are great.
Those guys, Ripperino.
Yeah, they kind of got memes, but
yeah.
But episode 1 of the Seneschal, interesting. I hope you get even better.
Yeah, it was certainly a subversion of what I expected. I'm jury's out on whether or not it's a good subversion. I really hope that they're hunkering down and doing something with it. Because if it's just how it feels like with the soldiers, where it's like, how do we show they're evil? What if they're so determined to rape? It's like, oh, okay, all right.
I'm not laughing because rape is funny. I'm laughing because
that's absurd.
It's absurd
from a writing standpoint.
It's absurd. Yes. Goddamn. So that's the Seneschal. Good 30 minutes on Seneschal. Hell yeah. There we go.
Honestly, we got through that quicker than I expected.
Yeah, it's. I love audio dramas. I've always been a huge fan. I think they could be some of the best tie-in stuff. Like, my favorite audio drama is a Halo 2 tie-in called I Love Bees.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. I think you can enjoy it even as a not Halo fan. It's pretty great.
Absolutely. Because
there's no Master Chief or Covenant or the Rings. It's phenomenal. I wish it was available on like a Spotify or something, so I could like have a device that can help me remember where I am.
Yeah.
Remember back when I first listened to it, it was like on my Zune, and I had to just remember, like, I had to write down, like, hey, what episode did I last listen to, and where did I stop? Modern convenience, man, I tell you.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So let's turn our attention to probably the biggest and most amazing movie in theaters right now. And obviously I'm talking about Twisters. Like, you gotta know what's coming.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yo, okay, so yeah, so Twisters, bro. All right. Is it a perfect movie? No. Is it a lot of fun? Oh my god, Twisters was so fucking fun. So I saw this, I think, opening day, and last week we were talking about so many other things. It was like 5 minutes after the podcast, I was like, fuck, I didn't talk about Twisters.
I didn't realize you actually watched Twisters.
I did. I went and saw it. Oh, listen, dude, for the past 3 months have been nothing but, if you feel it, chase it. We got twins.
Did you watch Twister to prep for it?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh.
But I remember Twister pretty well.
There's not much to miss.
There's not much. We got cows. Yeah, I watched Twister. It's okay. I remember. Thankfully, Twisters is kind of a cool sequel where it has nothing really to do with the first one, except for like the little like Dorothy thing shows up.
Oh yeah.
The cloud tracking thing.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Twisters was really good. It has a really interesting character arc. I think the two leads were phenomenal. Glenn Powell and what's her face? I'm sorry. Daisy Edgar Jones. It's my first thing I've ever seen her in, so I was not familiar with her work. I had to probably watch more stuff because she was really good too. It also had Anthony Ramos, who was from Hamilton, who was John Lawrence in The Place to Be.
Oh, okay.
He was also in The Heights, which people slept on In the Heights. Can I just say?
I slept on it. I will say.
I think it's better than Hamilton, honestly.
Yeah.
I fucking love Hamilton, but In the Heights is better than Hamilton.
That's fair.
And Anthony Ramos is in the movie adaptation, which is really good. It also has fucking Melissa Barrera, who's in the most recent 2 Scream movies. And Abigail, and she's great.
I'm glad that we're getting this young crop of actors.
Yes, dude, I felt like we weren't for a while.
No,
it was a fucking barren landscape for a hot minute there. Where I think Hollywood was holding on to the old ones for too long, but now we're like, yeah, fuck it. Like Melissa Barrera, then we got fucking like Tom Holland, Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Austin Butler, and we got a whole new crew of actors rolling in. And I'm like, yes, we're pushing stars again. It's like the 2000s. Jesus Christ, where have you been?
It's that post-COVID scare,
yes,
where it's like we need actors that are going to be able to bounce back from lockdown.
For real. But In the Heights, great movie. Watch it. Melissa Barrera is an actress to watch. Anthony Ramos is pretty good. He's not amazing in Twisters. He's fun.
Sure.
He's also in the I forget which Godzilla movie. I think it's King of Monsters. Yeah, King of Monsters. That one's all right. I'm gonna put In the Heights in the thumbnail because I really want to. I saw it in theaters. It was great, dude. It was really fucking good. I highly. It's a good musical. Everyone does a good job. I think I'm always singing, even to this day. It's been like 3 or 4 years since the movie came out. But like the opening song is so fucking iconic. I love it. I'm always like, but Twisters.
Yeah. Please.
Off base. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sure.
It's a really fun summer blockbuster action movie. Like so the main character. It's like Daisy Edgar Jones and Anthony Ramos's characters, and a couple other characters are like storm chasers. And then a really horrific tragedy happens with a Twister, and then it cuts to 5 years later. And then Anthony Ramos has to bring Daisy Edgar Jones back. And then she's like, all right, I'm fine for 1 week. And then in this 1 week, she meets fucking Glenn Powell's Tyler Owens. If you feel it, chase it. They gave us a fucking like Tyler Owens Twister magnet that's now in my fridge.
Wonderful.
10 out of 10. Thank you for gimmicks. Well, this is a good gimmick. We'll have a bad gimmick later. Oh. But like, there's some good like her character and Glenn Powell's character have a good arc. They kind of rush an arc for Anthony Ramos, but the action's good. The set pieces are really good. It's very well acted. It's a good character arc. It's a fun summer movie with twisters. It's like watching Twister, but more and modern. It's good. It was a really fun time. I highly recommend watching it. It was a fantastic movie. It had David Corenswet in it, the soon-to-be Superman.
Oh, hey.
Apparently, like when I heard, like they found that he got the role when he was shooting the movie, and they had a whole big celebration on set.
Aw.
Kiernan Shipka is in it, who's also in Longlegs. So she has 2 films out in theaters at the same time.
Nice.
That's always great when you watch a movie and you watch another movie and the same person's in both. And you're like, damn,
that is pretty rad.
That's good. Good for you. Because it's that kind of like actors I think need to be in a lot of stuff, but not too much, because then you get the fucking Jenna Ortega thing where everyone's like, I'm so sick of seeing Jenna Ortega and everything. And it's like, listen, she's working. Okay. I'm sorry her agent's so good. All right.
Well, it's the thing of I want them to be in a lot of things because I appreciate seeing them, but also I want to know that they have good judgment in picking their roles. I want to be sure that the movies they're in are good and not just they're good.
Yeah, I hope I hope Beetlejuice is a good choice for Jenna Ortega. We'll see.
We will see.
That new trailer was better than the first one.
I can agree with that.
That's been a trend recently. The first trailer's been kind of shitty on a lot of stuff I've been seeing, and then I'll watch trailer 2 and I'm like, oh, okay, that's better.
I feel like movie studios are getting more real-time responsive to audience review, because it's like it's like when the trailers for The Crooked Man came out, and like the first one came out and it was it was what it was. But we were talking, and it feels like other people were talking about how Hellboy didn't say a goddamn thing in the trailer. Yeah. And then, like, he was almost the only one talking in the second trailer. That's right. And I was like, and it was funny because I had actually finally read the Crooked Man comic by the time the second trailer came out. So I was like, I think they used every line of dialogue he has in the short story, because he doesn't talk that much.
Do you want to do an aside for Crooked Man that you finally read it?
Oh yeah, it was great. I really like the art style. I would be curious to. I know that Hellboy is weird because they do like a bunch of short stories, but then there is also an overarching thing. It's a Witcher scenario. But,
positive connotation.
Yes, yeah, in a good way. But I would be curious to see, get a context of where Hellboy is at, and like, what are his thoughts and feelings, because you certainly don't get him in The Crooked Man, which is fine because he's with people he doesn't know.
Yeah, I feel like the Crooked Man, Hellboy, the Crooked Man comic was very much a Mad Max scenario, where Hellboy was here to help, but it was not really his story.
It's like, I forget. Did we get you to watch Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage?
No, and I never will because you wanted me to so bad.
All right, fine. Then I'm gonna spoil a very small plot point that you'll see very early on in the movie. Anyway,
okay, that's
so
early. That's okay. All right. Okay.
So the basic premise is people are dreaming about, like, Nicolas Cage is just showing up in people's dreams and they have no idea why. But it's very funny because he's always like very casual and unconcerned. So you see people having horrific nightmares and then Nicolas Cage just kind of walks into frame and he's like, huh, that's kind of weird. That's kind of how Hellboy feels in The Crooked Man, where he's like, oh, hey, I'm here now. Hey. And it's like, what the fuck?
And everyone's like, oh, hey, it's Hellboy. Anyway.
Yeah, I've heard about you. And it's like, you have?
It's great. I'm excited for the movie. I think they are definitely expanding the comic, which is good because the comic is pretty short. So if you want to do a movie, you kind of have to, do a bit more like setup to him getting there probably.
For sure, because I don't know if they're assuming this will be a lot of people's first Hellboy movies, but I think they're trying to make it accessible for people who it might be. Again, it's fair.
Yeah.
And if this leads us to, in an ideal world, from what little I know of the Hellboy comics, it would be nice if this led to like a spin-off Hellboy series where they could, maybe do like an anthology of the short stories, and then once it gets to bigger stuff, they could go back to movies. I don't know. I don't know if they have long-term plans or what they're thinking, but I'm excited for this one and curious to see where it goes.
I wouldn't mind a Hellboy like 12 episode show that's like kind of Xena X-Files vibed.
We talked. Yeah, get that itch scratched of having anthology little fun adventures. I think Hellboy would lend itself very well to that.
Listen, if Farscape can have those fucking makeup and Babylon 5 can have that makeup in 90s 2000s, you could do Hellboy now, where it's like, okay, Hellboy and Ape Sapien. All right, we can do it.
Come on,
motherfucker.
Listen, we've already given you the gimme that he's just wearing boots, because I read the original comic. He's got his hoofs out. Fuck you.
That's fine.
Okay.
Fine, we'll wear the boots, but
that's all right.
Everything else.
Get those prosthetics. Yeah. Get that big stone glove on.
Yes. It's doable. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so now for the semi-main event. Joe is not here. We've stalled long enough. Nathan, the other day, Josiah tortured us. And so this is our little therapy session after the fact. He made us watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
And to be fair, I asked for it because I didn't want to face it alone. So,
and you know what? That's fair. I gotta say, before we really start the review, I know this didn't bother you very much, but it bothered me. So I need to talk about this. I feel like if I'm bothered, there's a percentage of the population that's also bothered.
That's fair.
We saw this in IMAX. I like to watch every movie in IMAX if I can help it, because I like the highest quality I can get. This is the first time I've seen a movie in IMAX where they gave me these fucking gimmicky ass glasses, and I swear to God, this was just real D 3D, remarketed as IMAX because. They call them IMAX glasses. No, IMAX is not a glasses. It's a fucking like camera and like aspect ratio. It's not whatever the fuck this is. So we saw it in IMAX with special IMAX glasses, which to me, I've watched a lot of clips of the movie after the fact in like regular footage because everyone's screen capping and posting it online. So I've had a chance to like watch how it's kind of supposed to look without the glasses. It looks a lot better without the glasses on. The glasses for me made me like really uncomfortable, and I got kind of disoriented, and I felt like I was in a fucking fever dream. I felt like I was it didn't help that the movie was taking place in the void, but I felt like I was stuck for 2 hours in one of those early 2000s abandoned MMO games that are like a Second Life, where it's just like weirdly unfinished locations in that early 2000s like pre-rendered design, and everything was weirdly out of focus and then in focus. That's how I felt for 2 hours.
I feel, yeah.
So the glasses hampered my enjoyment, but I still think that even without the glasses, everything I'm about to say is pretty valid.
Well, see, I will agree with feeling like I was in a fever dream. I think the glasses bothered me less because compared to the last time I saw film in IMAX 3D, this was pretty good, because the last time, to my memory, that I saw a film in IMAX 3D was Avatar, and we got there late, so we were in the front row, right in front of the screen, basically laying down and looking up, and boy, oh boy, does the effect not work when you're that close. So
that's no way to fucking live, bro.
This was pretty nice by comparison, outside of, you know, the contents of what we were watching, but you know, it's
right. So Deadpool and Wolverine. Boy, what do we even talk about? How do you do this? I mean, what do you?
Well, here,
okay.
let me float this to you.
All right.
I have been hearing all over the internet that this is the film of the year, one of the best superhero movies ever, the best MCU films. What do you think? Could you validate or ramify those?
I'm gonna take all three of your points. I'm gonna wrap it up with a fourth point. Film of the year, challengers. Superhero film of the year, probably The Crooked Man. MCU film of the year, probably Venom 3. Fourth point, this isn't a movie. This is not a film. This was the length of a movie. I will grant you that. This was 2 hours and 8 minutes. This was technically the length of a feature film. This was a fucking SNL skit. This was not a movie. If this was like a Disney Plus special presentation, I would be a bit more favorable. Because this was not a movie. This should not have been in theaters. This was not a movie. I don't know how you can call it such.
No, this was a series of AI generated scenes, AI organized into the length of a film. I really had that sensation throughout, and then I just had to keep reminding myself that there were just 5 different fucking writers on this movie, one of which was Ryan Reynolds, who, you know, I can only assume would be writing the majority of Deadpool's dialogue. So
I think he had to be a writer because when they just started filming, the writer's strike happened.
Yeah, that's right.
No, the actor's strike, I think, started first. So I think to get around his improv, I don't know. Yeah. Something like that. But so this was a 2 hours of gratuitous jokes, broken up by appearances from people from other movies, with a few scenes where they tried.
Yes.
Again, not a movie. Calling it a film is generous.
Yeah, and you know, this is as close as I can come to steel manning the film. It's more like aluminum manning the film. But to be fair, the end of Deadpool 2 didn't really set them up for success, because, you know, it ends with him having the wackadoodle time travel hijinks where he, you know, undoes the inciting incident of Deadpool 2, and it kind of leaves you with where the fuck do we go from here?
Yeah. What's weird about this movie is how so I'm going through the X-Men movies, and the last thing I watched was Deadpool. So I haven't watched Deadpool 2 since theaters. I think I saw it with either you and Joe, or maybe just Joe. But it's so funny how Deadpool 2 does not matter.
No.
Like, you could actually skip it and you'd be okay.
No, it cannibalizes itself. It's astonishing.
No Domino? Really? Sin. If Domino was in this film, another half star. She could have done nothing, and I would have been like, yeah, half star. Domino's in it.
And no Cable,
No
this could have been where we got the Keira Knightley, or whoever he said could have played her, and at the end,
yeah, it's like, Keira Knightley, she's got range.
Yeah,
that would have been great. She said no, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. So the movie's plot is really bad. So they undo Wade's relationship with Vanessa.
Yes.
Immediately. Great. Thank you so much, because I hated that, actually. I hated him being happy. And like, yeah. Wow. That's good. Anyway. So then the whole movie is, the whole arc of the movie is he's trying to win back Vanessa by doing something not just for himself, but for, like more than himself, not for him, for her, for like the planet, whatever.
Which I really could have sworn he'd done a thing or two in the first two movies.
Yeah,
but, I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I get, but it's been 6 years, and I don't know. I guess he doesn't. I don't know. I don't fucking. This movie just wants to do things what it wants to do. So then the TVA shows up, which I didn't watch fucking Loki. I'm married. I didn't watch Loki. I'm sorry.
I watched Loki season 1
because you're not married yet.
Me.
Once you do, you cannot watch. You cannot go back.
Wait, it came out before either of us were married. But so let me just say, of the two perspectives, we have the person who didn't watch Loki, who this stuff is like, what the fuck. Then you have the person who watched Loki, who sees this stuff and is like, oh fuck, we're doing this again.
Yeah, I know of TVA. That's about it. So they show up and they're like, hey, you've been fucking with the timeline. And I'm like, I guess that's repercussions for his actions. Sure. Why is it 6 years later? Well, because that's when the movie came out. Oops. It would have been better if they said it right after. I don't know why they had to do the whole, because they had to, I don't know, explain why Vanessa was whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
And
also, to and this is power scaling. I'm sure they fucking nerf them in other things, but for frame of reference, when the TVA is introduced in Loki, they like fucking one shot him and capture him, but an Asgardian with immense magical powers, but somehow fucking little bitch ass smart mouth Deadpool is able to just butcher him.
Yes,
it's fun.
So they're like, hey, we want to take you out of that universe because your universe's anchor point is dead. And your universe's anchor point was Logan. And it does the whole like, remember Logan? Remember a better movie? Remember the best superhero movie ever? Yeah, wow. Anyway, so I want to talk about the anchor point stuff real quick.
Please.
This is objectively terrible.
Yeah.
Because in its own movie, it destroys the whole idea of an anchor point. So the idea of an anchor point in the multiversal... are you down with multiverse?
Oh.
Sorry.
Fuck me.
I'm sorry. So the whole idea is that because there's multiverses, a universe will have an anchor point. And once the anchor point dies, the universe slowly dies over the next 1,000 years. Why? How does this work? Fuck you. Why are you thinking about it? This is Deadpool. That's what they want you to think. But I am thinking because writing matters in a movie, and the plot matters. So if this is your whole plot, I'm going to think about it. I'm sorry. You can't just say, well, it's supposed to be just funny. Why are you thinking about it? Because they put it in the movie. It's a movie. And they made me pay, or they made Joe pay the equivalent of 3 IMAX 3D tickets to see this. So it should have some fucking value and some fucking artistry behind it. So what's an anchor point? Yeah, so you basically have a person who, once they die, because they're such a heroic and noble person, the universe slowly dies over the next 10,000 years. And you're like, well, okay, whatever, fine, I guess so. So Logan's is that person. So the TVA are like, hey, Deadpool, you're in this universe, you're pretty cool. We want to take you out because you could be pretty useful, but no one else is. So the whole plot is we're going to kill your universe now to save it this tens of thousands of years long death. This makes no sense, obviously, but don't think about it too much. This is all evil, the guy from Succession, so whatever. So the whole thing with the anchor point, though, is later in the movie, spoilers if you care, not that this movie has a plot, at the end, the universe is saved. The timeline of the universe is saved. Why? Because Deadpool is now the universe's anchor point. So then I ask you,
it just works.
I ask you, if the whole idea of an anchor point, a supreme being that holds the timeline together, if a new one can be birthed, if a new person can become a new anchor point 6 years later, when the universe is supposed to be in like a state of decay for tens of thousands of years, why aren't there just new anchor points that help take up the mantle? Why are we even worrying about an anchor point dying if it just takes like a mild act of heroism to make a new anchor point?
Well, and the other thing, on the flip side, was there any anchor point in the universe before Wolverine was born?
Yeah, or were they just waiting for him, I guess?
And he's obviously he's long lived, but he's not immortal. So if he had lived and died naturally, would that cause the same thing?
So like, let's say Logan didn't die at the end of Logan. He would have maybe gone, I don't know, comic book stuff, no one fucking at me, you fucking neckbeards. All right, I'm gonna say, for the sake of this argument, let's say he goes another, let's say 200 years. If Logan's 200 in Logan and he looks about like 50, 55, let's give him another 200. All right. Okay. So then after that point, it's going to be in a state of decay for the next tens of thousands of years. So then what's 200? No one thought about this. All 5 of them didn't think about it. 5 writers. Well, 5.
Well, here, I want to bring another way that they didn't think about it. So Deadpool.
I heard of him.
His timeline is decaying. It's dying because Logan died. We do remember that Logan and Deadpool are not the same timeline. At least it didn't seem like they were. Because
Logan's Deadpool is the one that's in Origins, right?
Yeah. It's the presumably OG timeline.
Or did Days of Future Past fuck that?
I don't know.
But then if it did, that Wade Wilson was born in like the 50s and then was an adult around the 70s. Whereas this Wade Wilson doesn't seem to be that old.
Yeah. And so...
Because we're presuming... Let me look up how old Ryan Reynolds is. So Ryan Reynolds was born in 1976. So X-Men, Origins, Wolverine. I like how the first result is the game. Thank you. That's very kind. I appreciate what you're trying to do for me. No. When does the film take place?
I think it's 76.
I think it is not so Wikipedia is failing me.
Yeah, no, it's a little putrid.
I have to go back. I should go to the wiki. Stop trying to show me the game. I appreciate it. I know the game is better than the movie. I'm cultured. I know. Stop it. The X-Men movies wiki. Okay, here we go. This is the fucking Wikipedia article, isn't it?
Try the same thing.
Let me look up. I'm sure it'll tell me when John Wraith died. 1979. Okay, so yeah. Not only can all right. Oh god, all right. We're going deep here. We're going deep. So this. So the wiki is telling me the wiki does not treat Logan as being an alternate timeline, but rather part of the revised timeline created as of X-Men Days of Future Past. So we have to imagine that because Days of Future Past happened, Origins did not happen the same way it did. Right?
Yeah.
So does that mean that X-Men Days of Future Past happening changed how Deadpool would be born? Did it like delay? No, because he would have already been born by then to be a character in Origins Wolverine. So it can't. So Deadpool literally, if we're thinking about it, can't be in the same timeline as Logan.
No.
And also, doesn't Logan happen in the future?
Logan happens in the future. If we're, I never bought that it was in the same timeline as the restored Utopia Days of Future Past, because then it means that like a year or two after the end of Days of Future Past, everything goes to shit, which is just, that's too much.
So 2029
yes,
is when Logan takes place.
Yeah.
So in 5 years. But Deadpool 3 should, I think, take place this year.
Yes, because Deadpool 2 was 2019? 2018? Let me see. Deadpool 2. 2018, yeah, and they did 6 years later. So they thought they were, again, I think the thing is they're so terrified of repeating the same mistake from Spider-Man Homecoming that they're like, no, every film is just set in the year that it's released. And it's like, but you fucked up other things by doing that.
So this movie is a film where the whole plot is Logan is the anchor points for his unit, for Deadpool's universe, because they're in the same universe as per the movie, except yes. Deadpool would have been born back in the 50s so he could be in Origins. And also Logan takes place 5 years in the future.
Yeah, they kind of cut through the Gordian knot that was the multiverse of the X-Men. They didn't put too much thought into that.
You have some writers,
the X-Men, that's a timeline.
You have some writers like George Martin who will spend years trying to untangle the web. Then you have Ryan Reynolds who says, well, what if we just ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist? Because it'd be better to just make a jokes where the guy shooting up Deadpool just slaps his ass and cups his cock. Because isn't sexual assault funny?
But it's funny because we pointed it out.
God.
Oh.
That's part of the movie that I hate so much. So outside of the fact that the plot is objectively bad, is that so much of this movie is them saying, hey, it's okay that this movie sucks. We acknowledge that. We acknowledge that we're going to defile Logan's corpse and that the movie's going to be a bunch of jokes and cameos. We acknowledge it, so it's okay.
It's so weird that that honestly kind of gives me vibes that like Warner Bros has when it's presenting itself, because I haven't seen it, but I've heard that like Warner Bros is the evil corporation in Space Jam 2, or yes. like in Matrix Resurrections, where they're like, oh yeah, Warner Brothers is making us do this, even though we don't want to.
Where Jonathan Groff, Agent Smith is like, our parent company, Warner Brothers doesn't wants us to make a fourth Matrix movie. It's so fucking funny. Oh my god.
It's so weird because it's like, yeah, see, isn't it funny how we say that we're the bad guys? And it's like, yeah, but you're actually doing shit we don't want you to do. Yeah. It's, oh god.
Well, Matrix 4 is fine because that's whichever one worked on it being like fuck you and pulling a Freddy got fingered. Whereas this is like, no, we're in on the joke that we suck and that this movie sucks.
This is Ryan Reynolds moving heaven and earth so that he can keep being Deadpool in the MCU and that he can eventually get his Deadpool and Spider-Man movie.
Fuck.
And God, I want to die.
So yeah, so a lot of this movie is literally Deadpool saying, hey, I understand this movie sucks, but it's okay because I know it sucks. That does not make it okay. If you acknowledge a thing is bad, that does not make it good or you better because you acknowledge it. It's still just bad. It's just worse than that you like acknowledge it that it's bad.
Yeah.
So the gratuitous cameos, and honestly, they're not. I'd argue that they're not really even cameos because they have like, I'd argue they actually like most of these people have like multiple scenes, and like
they are supporting
characters,
roles.
yes. Because in a weird way, they have arcs. They're not like grandiose, but there is like an arc there. It's an attempt.
Yeah.
It's better than Multiverse of Madness.
It's this thing, and I talked with you and Joe about it as we were leaving the theater, where when I first heard about this movie and I heard about all the people they were bringing back from other Fox superhero movies, I was like, this is such a manipulative, just jangling nostalgia keys with no thought put in it. After watching the movie, I'm still torn. I'm still torn to this day, where it's like, part of me feels like it is that. The other part of me feels like they do actually think that they're giving some sort of like heartfelt send-off to the Fox superhero universe. It's just done incredibly incompetently because it's 5 different writers and an MCU film. And it's like, oh, God, I'm not able to appreciate the sentiment because you're just repulsive to me.
Yeah, I think there's some parts where I feel like that actually is trying to, in a way. There are parts of this movie that I think that, okay, so ignoring the fact that the plot is like ass, there's parts where I do feel like it is trying to be like a heartful love letter to the fans, and for some fans I think it actually is, because I will say, like, the way that they handle some of these characters, and we'll just say spoilers, right? Like Gambit, Blade, Elektra, and even X-23, I feel like it is a way that they kind of like redeem them a bit. I don't think Blade needed redeeming, and X-23 was there as like the emotional hook for Wolverine to kind of like nut up. Elektra and Gambit did need this. Elektra had that shitty movie, and then Gambit never got his movie. Blade being there, I think, is just because of Ryan Reynolds and started his career in Blade 2 with Deadpool, so like it was kind of like a wink and a nod. A nod. I don't think Blade was because I've heard people say that, oh, it's the outcast, and I'm like, yeah, but Blade's revered and people love all of his movies, and he's always talked about as being like the reason why Marvel even is kind of like got the ball rolling to go on the run it is now, is because Blade was so fucking good. So like that narrative is weird.
That's the thing, because they try to present this like, oh, we're the forgotten, outcast, trying to say, oh, these are these lost, forgotten movies. It's like, okay, this isn't like Captain America '89, where like no one remembers these things. It's or
the Cormac Fantastic Four. Yeah, or the Roger Corman. Roger Corman Fantastic Four.
Yeah, or the fucking X-Men TV film.
Yes,
from the 90s.
Like, people know what like Blade is still talked about to this day, especially with the whole new Blade movie not coming out. Everyone's like, "But guys, you fucking nailed it the first 3 times."
Exactly.
So yeah, Blade being there is weird. Elektra, that makes sense. Her movie wasn't very well received, and then poor Channing Tatum, Gambit never got his movie. But their characters were handled with like a bit of reverence. I was really worried that they get killed off, and they didn't. Thank God. I was very
That was
scared.
Very surprising.
I was shocked because Johnny Storm.
God.
But that's part of the joke. Is already another. Chris Evans is already another character, and like, I guess no one likes those movies. I have to rewatch them. I remember liking them as a kid.
They're fun, I'd say they're better than Origins Wolverine or The Last Stand. Cool. And they're more fun.
There we go.
Than those.
I want an edit of the Fantastic Four movies where it's 1, 2, and then just Johnny Storm's bits in this movie.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine the whiplash. Like, I'm gonna follow just Johnny Storm, and then you watch those 2 and then this, and you're like, what the fuck? That's a weird.
It was also so surreal because it's like we talked about it a little. It's weird seeing Chris Evans try to act like Johnny Storm again when it's been like a decade plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
It was, I don't think it was the same take, but it's okay. It was fun. I mean, there's parts of this movie that I did honestly enjoy. I did laugh a lot, I'll be honest.
Sure.
That's why I say it should have been a skit, not a movie, because it was very fucking funny. If I just didn't think about how awful the plot was and how kind of soulless some of this shit was, then it was better.
Because here's the thing, like, we know, or at least, you know, people who follow this shit know about, you know, Disney buying out Fox and everything like that, and we were like, yeah, there's probably not going to be any more X-Men movies or whatever, but for people who still give a shit, and I guess, you know, I'm not really in this audience anymore, but they'll give you the gimme of just putting Deadpool in the MCU. It's fine. It's part of the joke. You didn't need a whole film to get him there.
Yeah. Or at least needed a better movie.
At least a better movie. Because I think one of the things that really annoyed me with this film was that it's like tricking you into thinking that it's Deadpool 3. And
Deadpool 3, Wolverine 4, yeah.
Yeah, precisely. And yeah, we get some of the OC characters, or I assume they're OC. I don't read comics.
I think,
but like
Al
the characters from
OC.
the Deadpool films, I think so. And Peter,
I think Al and Peter are OC. Yeah.
So yeah, you bring back these characters, but
And
right
Dopinder.
away, and Dopinder. But right away, I'm watching it, and I'm like, something is off about Deadpool himself, and like, as I got more into the film, it kind of clicked with me where it's like, this Deadpool doesn't feel like the Deadpool we've been following from these first two movies. It just feels like, you know, that obnoxious internet personification of Deadpool. And
he also made a lot more woke jokes and Gen Z jokes. It was weird.
A lot more of that stuff. And, you know... The thing about the Deadpool fourth wall breaks is that you use them as throwaway lines, but the problem is now he's talking with people who know about the multiverse and all these things, so it's this weird thing where they just kind of have to accept that he is also omniscient for some reason. Like, all of his conversation with TVA agents is just like, how do you know so much about how shit work? Like,
it's so many fourth wall breaks that, like, there was a bit where he was like saying a fourth wall thing, and it was a weird he was in Cassandra Nova's camp, and it was like a wide shot of him screaming it, and I tried to think, like, hey, so in universe, when he does this, does everyone just like stand still and like not hear or perceive when he does this? Is it just for us?
Yes.
Or do they hear him saying this and just no one ever calls him out and is like, hey, what do you mean by Fox or Disney?
Yeah.
And also, everyone's way too accepting of the whole multiverse thing. Like,
oh yeah, they're just over it.
Like there's no character that goes, what? There's a multiverse? And no one's like confused or like, what? This is crazy. Everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's because they again point this out in the movie. Everyone's kind of over it. The multiverse just sucks. So I think they're done making it this big fantastical thing and just kind of being matter of fact about it.
Also,
we're fucking swerving from Kang to Doctor Doom, so
there's reasons for that.
Yes, there's a few reasons.
There's a few reasons. Kang died on his way back to his home planet.
Oops.
There's also some bits too with the Deadpool core. It was a fun scene, and I thought that Nice Pool was pretty funny.
Yeah.
How long does it take for you to regenerate? That again, there's a lot of good jokes. Ryan Reynolds is very funny. It's just, why is it the whole movie? But the Deadpool core, so this was supposedly work for Cassandra, but like they never showed up until they needed to. And then also when Cassandra meets our Deadpool, she's like amused and like interested. But if this is like her 85th one, I don't think she would be. Why didn't she say, oh, look, another Deadpool? If she has a fucking army of them just hiding away somewhere.
But this one,
even if she didn't have it, that's just okay, listen. Even if she, we don't know that. Is there a Prime? He's just making shit up.
Yeah.
But even if she didn't own the army herself, she probably knows everyone in the Void. So why doesn't she, when she see Deadpool, go, oh, another one? Because we have to have the twist later that there's a fucking army of them. And then we have to do a fucking old boy hallway shot, which was fun. But like, still, the fact that like the getting there requires so much turn your brain off and give it to the movie that I'm just giving the movie everything. And the movie is just giving me nothing.
Yeah, well, like you said, I feel like, you know, we talk about how there's a lot of fourth wall breaks. It's more like there's just ongoing fourth wall dialogue.
Yeah,
you know? Like
it's a lot.
It's more frequent to have, you know, the fourth wall reinstated. Like that's more of the small occurrence, and the default is it's broken.
Yeah,
it's
used too much. It's used too much. It's not good. It's funny. It's just like, Jesus Christ. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. Especially after the first two were so fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was looking at a thing where I was comparing shots from Deadpool 2 to 3 and the cinematography, man.
Oh yeah.
Deadpool 2 looks like a fucking movie. This is like a fucking dream scenario, huh? I will say there is good stuff. I mean, let's talk about the pod. So obviously, like, we don't love this movie. I think it's funny. I think I'd watch it again for like just and try to like enjoy it for what it is, and try to enjoy more of the jokes. Maybe watch it a bit inebriated under some heavily marijuana. It's legal here, so yeah, marijuana.
See, I don't know. For me, I don't know if that would enhance or make it worse, because we talked about it a little bit before, but that fucking opening sequence where he's dancing to Bye Bye Bye,
that goes on forever.
I entered another dimension. Like I felt like I was having a bad high at that point, where I was like,
and it's how you're also getting used to the glasses movie. Too.
yeah, that didn't help.
But so positives, I'd say I want to talk about the biggest positive of the movie for me. I gotta talk about this. I fucking love Gambit. He's like one of my favorite X-Men. I'm kind of pissed I didn't know about us seeing it before we were actually out to go see it, because I have a Gambit shirt. I would have loved to have worn it as a little like, Gambit. I love Gambit. He's fucking fantastic. So, you know, there's the whole thing where, for years, Channing Tatum's wanted his own Gambit movie, and it kept almost happening and never did. And then Origins Wolverine has a pretty shitty Gambit.
Yeah.
Not great. Zero Riz. Doesn't sound like Gambit. Doesn't act like Gambit. Bad.
And he has a very minor accent.
Very minor. Yes. But
we made up for that here.
Yeah, we made up for it, all right. You fucking bet your bippy we did, bro. So, and then in this movie, we found, Channing Tatum finally gets to play his Gambit in the Void. And the whole joke is like, hey, he thinks that he was born in the Void because he never really had a world. The joke being he never had his own universe, because he never had his own movie. Like the bit where they call me the Gambit. And Deadpool's like, do they? Or did you just want him to for a very, very, very long time?
Oh.
I also don't like how Deadpool, every time there's an emotional moment or anything like that, he undercuts it. Like, I was rewatching the clip today of Wolverine putting on the cowl, which, by the way, oh my god, thank you that it's not nanotech.
Yeah, it's little victories.
Little victories. And then it's this big moment where everyone's wanted this for like 20 years. And what happens immediately? Deadpool starts quipping about the fucking mask. And it's like, can you give us a minute? Like, can you give the people a minute? Or could you just not say anything?
Well, again, that's what he's gone from being a character in the first two movies to being the internet Deadpool, where his whole thing is he doesn't shut the fuck up and he's obnoxious and he's a fucking moron. Like,
remember Deadpool 1 when he's like being like turned into Deadpool basically, and like Francis is like torturing him, And like,
he's got an arc.
oh my god!
You know?
Remember Deadpool having a good arc?
Oh my god,
that's crazy. But Channing Tatum's Gambit was perfect. I loved it. It felt so good to watch Gambit, as he should be. Looks comic accurate with the outfits. Channing Tatum's got the fucking voice down. He's got the feel down. I know his hair's not perfect. But whatever, man. It's like 95% there, okay?
Yeah, no, I would say the joke is, holy shit, Channing Tatum actually makes a really fucking good Gambit.
Yeah,
you know,
because I never thought it would.
Even in this,
dude. That's what's kind of great about the fact that they didn't just murk everybody and kind of gave them some scenes. Was that like you really got to see Gambit, dude, and he got to do his thing, and they just let him fucking be Gambit. Hello, sweetie. Hello. My cat's here.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's like, damn, bro, I'd still take it.
Yeah, if they announce later on, whenever they start doing their MCU X-Men, that they've kept on Channing Tatum as Gambit, perfect. I'll look up his scenes online.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if Channing Tatum Gambit is in a Marvel Disney movie as an actual X-Men movie, I will show up. They might not. He is 44.
Yeah.
But, you know, still, maybe like, I don't know. Anyway, so he was probably the best part of the movie for me because I'm a huge Gambit fan. So seeing him finally do his thing after so long was pretty cathartic. He was fucking great. Honestly, the highlight of the movie. I forgot what I was watching for a minute.
It's fair.
Anytime Cassandra put her hands in someone's face was fucking great.
I think it was a little bit overused, but those first few times it was deeply unsettling.
Yeah. I also appreciate how so Pyro from X-Men movies was in this. And I didn't expect it to A, be in it, B, be in it so much.
Yeah.
And C, like, be like probably the most consistent character from like a previous thing brought back.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like Pyro from the movies. It was great. He's just this little shit who will follow whoever's most powerful to feel powerful.
Yeah, it was kind of depressing to watch, and the worst thing is it kind of goes nowhere for him.
Yeah.
You know?
But the fact that he's in it as much as he is just, it was great.
Apparently his suit is more comic accurate. I can't confirm, but apparently
I don't know about
was like
Pyro.
Yeah, it gets to be more like the comic. So
that's one positive for the movie. That's a positive.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I mean, that's nice, I guess.
Yeah. This movie solidified that Hugh Jackman has now gotten so good at playing Logan that he can even outact a shitty script, which is, there's
like 2 or 3 scenes where they just let him do his thing, and for those scenes you forget what movie you're watching.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that, and here's, because I fucking love Logan. I think it's one of the best superhero films of all time. And I could see the keys getting jangled in front of me, but god damn it, the scenes between Logan and X-23 were really good.
I let myself be emotionally manipulated.
I got serviced as a fan. I'll take it. They acted well off of each other. It made me care about both of them. So,
honestly, I wish there was more, but I was okay with them giving more scenes to Gambit.
Yes, that was is seeing X-23. I was like, man, she was gonna get her own movie.
Fuck.
That would have been great.
Yeah, they should still keep her. It's fine.
I have mixed where I'm like, yeah, I'd love to see more of her, but also I don't want to see the MCU take a hold of her.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so there's good parts to the movie. It's just like it's drowned in it's sort of like the reason why I hate Thor Ragnarok is every time you're trying to care about the movie, Taika Waititi shows up and yells in your face.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Deadpool in this. Every time I'm trying to like give a fuck, Deadpool's like, hey, what if I made a joke about you? Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, I'd say the consistent fourth wall breaks and the look. We acknowledge the bad, so it's okay. It's like, no, if you acknowledge the bad, that means you need to fix it.
Yes, make a better movie, please.
But they didn't care enough, and the audience that is eating this shit up doesn't care enough. So I don't know.
I see a lot of people loving this movie.
We're just a bitter old man.
I think we're just bitter old men. But it's funny. Actually, this morning, I watched Red Letter Media reviewing it, and they're pretty positive.
Yeah.
But I think that they're so old men that they loop back to just enjoying it for what it is. I think so. I don't think we're there yet.
Well, because they're not like super into superhero stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't think they ever bought into the hype of the MCU or the X-Men films or any of that stuff where it's just like,
whereas
oh,
we
yeah,
did,
like,
I'd say.
Yeah.
So fuck.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, I like movies. These are based on those kids' comic books. Oh, that's fun. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to go see, it's gonna make all the money it wants anyway. So if you want to go have a fun time with it, if you don't care about the story, if you just want to if you just want to watch Deadpool and Wolverine banter, and then also have some older characters appear and have a cool moment or two, with some interesting like fight scenes, go watch it. If you want a good movie with a good story, what else is playing right now? What else is playing right now? Hold on, let me help you out. Let me help you.
Potentially go watch the director's cut of Rebel Moon. We'll see.
Yeah. Go see Twisters. Hell, even go see Longlegs instead. It says that A Quiet Place Day 1 is still in theaters. That's really fucking good. Maxine's good. I've heard Bad Boys Ride or Die is really good.
I'd be surprised.
Everything I've seen about it, it looks amazing actually. Like the directing looks really fucking good.
That's good.
Like it looks very well directed. Like the action scenes look it's like it's sort of like John Wick, but it's Bad Boys.
I mean, the problem for me, I think, is that I checked out after probably shortly into Bad Boys 2, where I was like, oh, okay, I'm done.
I never checked in myself.
That's fair.
But apparently there's a horror movie starring Kit Harington and James Cosmo.
Oh.
Who is Jorah Mormont.
Oh, okay. All right.
It looks like it's a vampire movie.
What is it called?
The Beast Within. I didn't know this movie came out. Showtimes?
Yeah, it's news to me.
It's not playing anywhere near. It's not playing anywhere near me. This must be getting a small release.
Must be.
I will watch it on VOD instead. Fuck. There's so many horror movies that come out that like have like a week showing. Like this, it says came out July 26th. I go to get tickets, and it's not showing at my theater. This movie came out last week called Oddity, which everyone in the horror space that I see talk about it says it's really good. There's no showtimes for it. It played for like a week.
Damn.
It's so dumb. But to wrap up our podcast, there's another topic I want to talk about. Unfortunately. So, what did we talk about? We talked about, I'm not going to add Bad Boys to the thumbnail. It's too much work. I will add this, though, as a closing topic. To finish off our soup talk for the day.
Oh, boy.
So, they announced the casting and what will be the next Avengers movie. They announced the next movie is Avengers 5.
Shit, that's the next?
Yes, the next Avengers movie, Avengers 5, which I'm gonna get the name for you. I don't have it in front of me.
But is that the next MCU film coming out?
No.
Oh, okay.
But the next Avengers movie. So they announced 2 movies. They announced the 5th and 6th Avengers. They announced May 2026 Avengers Doomsday, and then May 2027 Avengers Secret Wars. And they have casted as their villain for Doomsday, they've casted Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Because they're not doing, so it's not that they can't do Kang, they're choosing to not do Kang. I think they could have kept their original plan, unless it was bad, obviously. I think they could have kept their original plan. Are you still here? Yeah, you are. And they could have recast it, because they've done it before, and they'll do it again.
And it's the multiverse. But again, I feel like Deadpool and Wolverine kind of showed their hand, where they're like, I feel like that might actually be a thing with Marvel, where it's like, oh man, our test audiences are showing that they're not interested in multiverse shit. We need to make it a little more simple.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess there could still be multiverse stuff, but I guess I don't know enough about Doctor Doom, but I don't think that's his shtick.
No, I don't think so. So RDJ as Doctor Doom. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a desperation move. They're doing it because of the significance that RDJ has with the MCU. I've documented this before, but I have a sneaking suspicion that they attempted to sabotage his post-MCU career. I can't confirm. That's we'll call that a conspiracy theory for now. That said, I've been saying for years that their neck.
Not you, no, my cat.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
I would never say that to you.
My God, I don't know. But the thing is, I've been advocating for years that Doctor Doom should be your next big bad that you build up. I actually had an idea that I don't know if I've ever pitched. I won't do it here because it's actually, no, I might have pitched it. Whatever. Regardless. But Doctor Doom is a really big fucking deal in the comics. And I say this as someone who's not even that familiar with the comics, but Doctor Doom is a really huge fucking deal. Doctor Doom is one of the main inspirations for fucking Darth Vader. All right, he's fucking legit. And you need a very good actor to pull off that role.
Yes.
And Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor.
And Robert Downey Jr. is a very good Oscar-winning actor.
Yes. So can he make this work? I think he has the acting chops. I think there are two big hurdles to get through of this.
Potentially 3. We'll see what you say.
Potentially 3. But one, it is an MCU film. Are they going to give him any room to stretch his legs in the role? And 2, with this being in the MCU and he already has a role in it, is he going to commit to the character enough to make him distinct, or are we really going to play up the fact that it's Tony Stark, Doctor Doom, and he's just basically going to be evil Tony Stark?
So there's 2 ways you do this. Way number 1, which is hopefully the way they do it, is he's just Doctor Doom. You never see his face, but it's RDJ in the suit. He's doing the thing. I don't know if Doctor Doom is like scarred. I think he is scarred, and I think the whole mask is he's ashamed of a failure that's left him a bit scarred, if not very scarred, and so he uses the mask to cover it. That's all from memory, though. So if they do RDJ's face, maybe he's even more scarred, so that you can kind of tell it's him, but not really. But yeah, option 1 is he's playing Doctor Doom, because we're not doing Fantastic Four. I think just started shooting. I think this week or today, the same day that Superman just stopped shooting. They finished shooting today. Very funny, because they come out the same month.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's wild. But Fantastic Four first steps is going to be after they're already the Fantastic Four. No more origin story for them, aka no more origin for Doctor Doom. So he's theoretically already going to be Doctor Doom. So hopefully you do not show his face. It's just RDJ. He's doing a voice. He might not even be on set all that much because they might just have a suit actor play him and he'll just do the voiceover. Who knows? Option 2. People online have discovered this one what if issue of Marvel Comics of what if Tony Stark was Doctor Doom. Yeah. And they're using this as their like fucking like, look, it has roots to the comics. A what if comic does not entail your casting for your like arguably the biggest Marvel villain. Like, so hopefully he's not a Tony Stark variant. I hope he's just Doctor Doom. I hope he's in the suit the entire fucking time. I hope they never show his fucking face. And I hope it's RDJ doing a fucking voice. Or option 3, it's RDJ variant, Tony Stark variant Doom, and then real Doom shows up and kills him.
Yeah.
But the third reason...
Because the thing is, like, from a narrative perspective, the advantage of making it Robert Downey Jr., making him look like Tony Stark, all of the or most of the characters where that would be impactful are gone. They're fucking checked out. Like, are we gonna have a scene between fucking Rhodey and Doctor Doom where he's like, oh my god, he looks like my best friend? Like, that's not fucking happening. Cap's an old fucking man, you know. Thor, I don't give enough of a shit about to have him.
It's like Spider-Man and Happy.
Yeah, that's true. There's Spidey.
So the third reason why this has a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths is that Doctor Doom as a character is of Romani heritage. Oh. And not only that, but it's like apparently a huge part of his character. Oh. Again, and I'm not a big comic guy, and when I do read comics, it's either like indie shit or DC. I apologize. So a lot of people are upset that they didn't cast a Romani actor. Because apparently there have been other Romani characters that have not been getting representation either in Marvel. So they're kind of like annoyed that this keeps happening. It's apparently part of his backstory. It's kind of like almost as important as Magneto being a Holocaust survivor.
It's fair.
But yeah, so it's interesting. And again, I don't like... Apparently, wait, he's related to the ruler of Latveria.
Yeah, that's his whole thing, is he takes over Latveria and basically runs a country as a supervillain, which is very intriguing.
It's so cool. I gotta read some Doom comics, bro.
Hell yeah.
His capital is Doomstadt.
That's fantastic.
I gotta read all the Fantastic Fours to get prepped.
There you go. So, no, it's okay. He's not showing up on Fantastic Four.
He will. You know he will.
Yeah, that'll be the post credits.
That's the post credits. Yeah. So I don't know much about the whole Romani thing, but it's a thing that I'm seeing a lot of people echo online. So I feel like it has to have some sort of credence. I feel I'm still mad that Mario wasn't played by an Italian. I'm being legitimate.
No, I feel you. I get you. I'm a little bit looser on that kind of stuff. Obviously, obviously there's a breaking point here, but I think at some point you have to let actors be actors, and playing someone of a different culture is a good stretch for an actor. I understand if it seems like the culture's not being represented. I don't feel strongly enough about it to refute that as a criticism.
Yeah,
but...
and I think that in this era where I feel like we're so cross-pollinated, as a race. I mean, you have I don't think Oscar Isaac is Egyptian, but he keeps being cast as Egyptian superhero characters.
Yeah,
pretty sure he's but I think he has a look where he can play a lot of different ethnicities, and I feel like RDJ can kind of pull it off too.
I mean, if we can have Sir Anthony Hopkins be a Spaniard, or
that was 24 years ago, you rapscallion. It was a different time.
Shit, you're right. I'm sorry. I don't think Michael Fassbender's Jewish. It was great. I didn't hear a whole lot of complaints about Henry Cavill Superman, maybe beforehand, but then people saw him and were like, holy shit, he's great.
No, people still hate him.
Well, I mean, it's people who hate Zack Snyder, who hate Rebel Moon,
That's true. Michael Fassbender was born in West Germany.
All right.
That's something.
Little something.
That's a little something. Yeah, I think for me, it's like it depends on like. There's a lot of factors because there's an argument to where it's like you gotta let actors act. Like you have to accept that an actor is an actor, and in this role they are this character. There's certainly a degree to where it's like how much can you allow? What's like. There's some ethnicities to where it's like, where's the breaking point, right? Like you wouldn't
100%.
You wouldn't cast Ryan Gosling as Black Panther.
No.
But, there's some ethnicities to where there's like, they're white enough to where, or they're a certain mixture of enough other ethnicities enough to where somebody could easily play them. Like, no one really cared except for me that what's his fucking Chris Pratt was Mario. Yeah. Like people didn't like that because they hate Chris Pratt. I'm different. I didn't like that because he wasn't Italian. Now, no one else cared though, because like
let me double check that, because as a longtime fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, how did you feel about John Cena being Vin Diesel's brother?
Half brother. And also, that's not an established character that's being adapted.
Sure, it's fair.
Whereas like Mario, Doctor Doom, these are characters that have like if there's a character that's a long-standing character for decades that has a cultural relevance to a culture that you might not be familiar with. People in that culture seeing not one of them play that character can be harmful to them, but I also think that like if it's Italian Romani, they're like sort of white. I think that's like
I'm sure some of them mark Caucasian on their applications for stuff.
Yeah. So I get it. I get being upset. I do think that there's a point where you have to let actors be actors, and also that there's enough cultural blend in people nowadays to where like I get it. Because also then like where's this if we truly care about this, about the character, the actor playing the character has to be the correct ethnicity. No one really gave a fuck that Pedro Pascal was cast as Reed Richards, because he's a good actor. Who gives a fuck? No one's out here saying, but Reed Richards is a white guy.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I'm sure some right-wing nuts were saying that, but they were probably too busy saying Haktua to notice.
Oh, shit.
That a Chilean guy was playing Reed Richards. So, it's like a bit of give and take. It's like some characters like Black Panther, where it's like, all right, if someone's like, I don't know, if Black Panther's from like Africa, and I don't know, what's another country that would have like a dark skinned person? Like, I don't know, like Morocco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as well versed in this, but like I think that there's it is a weird gray area. It's where I feel like case depending, right? But did they interview or did they have casting auditions with the Romani actors and did no one quite have like the chops? Like, it'd be interesting to see like the casting process if it's ever revealed, like if Robert Downey Jr. legit just outperformed everybody, you know?
Sure.
It's a bit touchy, but also it's like you gotta let actors act.
Yeah, I have complaints about the casting that I would rank higher than that, but I get where they're coming from.
I'm not gonna knock down anybody who is upset because of that reason. I understand it, but for me, I'm more so like RDJ was already Tony Stark. It's kind of silly to have a huge character. It's not like other characters in Marvel where, like, you know, remember Cottonmouth from the first 4 episodes of Luke Cage? He's Blade now.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine. But this is Iron Man. He sort of did. Yeah. He was sort of a big deal.
He's one might say a pillar of the MCU. Which, hey, to be fair, if they decide to give Doom that same treatment and they're not just gonna murk him in a movie or two like they tend to do with Marvel villains,
Christ.
Hey, you know, maybe just maybe it'll be the turning point of the franchise. Heavy doubt. Don't expect it, but maybe who knows?
Yeah, I always hope for good movies, no matter what. My spidey senses are tingling not good things. They got back the Russos. It seems like they're doing the thing where sort of the thing in wrestling when your champ gets injured, so you have to vacate the title. So who do you pick out? Get Moxley in there for a little bit. Get Moxley. Yeah, everyone loves Moxley. Everyone loves Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Our new champion Kang got injured. Ah, he's out. Ah, shit. Okay. Mox, you're up.
Yeah, maybe in a couple years when shit gets cleared with Kang, they'll figure out a way to bring him back. Yeah. But for now, we just got no creative for him.
Yeah, this scene really feels like wrestling mentality. Yeah. I'm like, ah, shit.
Oh man, that's so fucking fun.
Fuck, dude. All right, this has been a great time. Go watch Twisters.
Do
it, and listen to the Seneschal. We will be back in like 3 weeks. So a lot to talk about in that time. There are a lot of horror movies come out the next few weeks, like Cuckoo and Trap by M. Night Shyamalan, and I think one other. I forget. But yeah, horror movies.
Yeah, I think you're right. Also, Joe, I know you're listening to this. Help Sal out and come in for an episode or two while I'm gone. You fuck.
You fuck.
We'll see how it goes.
Alien Romulus.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Does that come out in the next couple weeks?
I think the 15th, 16th.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Got stuff to do. Anyway, I've been Sal.
I've been Nathan.
Go check out Joss and Possum, because I did a stream yesterday. Technically, it'll be up on the YouTube channel today, probably before this. All right, open up.
You should have watched that first to get like the real time arc of Sal for the day.
Yeah, you watch that. You wait 10 minutes, and then you watch this.
Perfect.
Or I open up trading cards from an old trading card game nobody ever played. It's fun.
Good.
Shuttle.